Hi, I'm Deborah Alicia. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, thanks for the love. Today's channel message is entitled In the Nick of Time. This gives credence to divine timing, divine indicating when needed, not necessarily when wanted. Want speaks to the having of something or someone due to the benefit promised. The promise isn't based on divine intelligence. If it was, it would settle the yearning, closing any gaps in one's mind with regards to their idea of lack. We would know that nothing is withheld from us worthy of our having, and that the receiving is predicated upon readiness. Being the children of the Most High, the chastening we receive is of the highest form, meaning we won't be spoiled because there is no wisdom in that. It leads to dissatisfaction despite the receiving because one wasn't prepared to appreciate its value. Those prepared when handed good things make their circumstances better. Better not in the sense of material wealth, but in expanding one's consciousness. Because the importance of prioritizing one's spirituality is very clear to their mind. Whereas those who get more stuff and aren't ready for it drown in a sea of emotions because they haven't built the mental muscle through experience with being led by the Spirit. Through experience, whereby we know it is beneficial to wait on the Most High, Mother and Father. It is beneficial to wait on the Most High, Mother and Father, because there is no shortcut to divinity. When one's priority is meeting a status quo, it is very hard to overcome the spirit of competition. This yearning is inflamed and would have one to believe that divine timing does not exist, as to entertain thoughts of fear, lack, or scarcity. And considering the law of attraction, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, having nothing to do with the Most High keeping anything from us. Instead, there is a resistance to growth, to being teachable, whereby we learn all things work out for our good, because we are indeed called and chosen according to a divine purpose. So it only makes sense in our alignment to that, so also timing. So why are we saying this? When you are frustrated, it is a sign of premature thinking. You are working hard for clarity because the pathway hasn't been created yet for wisdom to flow to you concerning that matter. You are trying to get ahead of the Spirit when it is here to help make these transitions in our growth seamless, putting on you nothing more than you can handle. Not to test you, but to keep you from being overwhelmed, because that is not a fruit of the Spirit. These emotions like frustration are indicators signaling the need to leave the thoughts being entertained alone, because they lack the power of wisdom that brings clarity to strengthen one's will to do. Frustration and clarity are like oil and water. They don't mix, and that is for good reason. It allows us to see their true value placement as it pertains to our choices. Joshua 24:15. But if it is disagreeable in your sight to serve the Lord, choose for yourself today whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served, which were beyond the Euphrates River, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Being disagreeable isn't the problem. It is who and what we are being disagreeable to. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us the spirit of timidity, but of power and love and discipline. Frustration lacks power. It definitely isn't an expression of love or self-control. So be disagreeable to it, because you can be sure it isn't bared from entertaining a perspective from on high, as to believe your service to it would keep the assembly in your home, in your being. Quite frankly, it is the spirit of cowardice that would make one hesitate and casting it as beneath you, not worthy of your attention. Again, experience with letting the Spirit lead us strengthens our service to its power, love, and discipline. Divine nature becomes our own through divine timing. We cannot pretend to have this, because the fruit we will bear will give evidence to its goodness or the lack thereof. Many peering into these things prematurely, including myself at one point in time, have a very distorted view of what it means to be chosen. This is not a competition as if you are competing for the love of God, as if the Most High is somehow in need of us to prove ourselves to it, as to liken the divine to some tyrant, like in the Hunger Games, just dying to see us squirm or kiss ass, like the true intentions of our heart are concealed. When the experience is true, there is no need to prove anything. This is why we are so thankful, because this is very different from the pressures initiated by the world.